Hello and welcome to another episode of FOSS Cooking. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a bit of an experiment. I'm going to see if I can do a sort of high-level alchemy, if you will, on these pieces of chuck roast. So this is just your typical, pretty cheap cut of beef, $7.99 a pound chuck roast from Stop and Shop. But if I cook this like a brisket, will it taste like a delicious brisket? So that's what we're going to find out today. I've got a couple of different rubs that I'm going to be doing for these as well, but the key ingredient here I think is going to be this Wagyu beef tallow. Now if you watch other cooking channels like Guga Foods or Mad Scientist Barbecue, I think is another guy that likes to use this a lot. You've probably seen this in action where people will slap this on top of the, roast in this case, or brisket, just as it's finishing, just before they wrap it and, let it sit on the smoker, let it sit outside for like half an hour to an hour, sometimes more. So we're gonna see if Wagyu beef tallow can tremendously bring up the quality of these cuts of meat. So let's get started. Okay, so we have our pieces of meat here, and I'm gonna start with seasoning this one the easy way. So this one, I'm just going to be seasoning with my Montreal steak seasoning, and because this one's like really granular, like the pieces of spice are really large, I'm also going to be using this one, just this barbecue seasoning that I got at the Asian market, because it's not like it's smaller, right? The particles are smaller, so that's going to help give me a more even bark. I think if I just use this, my bark isn't going to be very even. Alright, so let's get started. So I'll start by rubbing this in, and then I think I'll just put the more fine powder stuff on top of it. And that'll just kind of fill in the areas. Make sure to get actually, I'll do the sides last. I'll just use the sides to mop up whatever doesn't stick to the meat, whatever gets left on the cutting board. Okay, now we'll season it. Let's see, how does this side look? Yeah, this could use a little bit more. Okay, now finish it up with this. Both of these more or less have the same ingredients. Like I think this finer powder that I'm putting on it has mustard powder as an additional ingredient, but the Montreal steak doesn't. But besides that, it's basically just black pepper, paprika, kind of stuff that you see in pretty much every barbecue seasoning. So they're pretty much the same, they definitely complement each other. It's just one is those fine particulates and the other is very granular. And I kind of like both. Like usually you'll see in the other rub that I made kind of has the same theme going on, but it's just all the spices are combined into one thing. I want to get every square inch, every square centimeter for the Europeans out there watching, covered in spices. stuff from the board one last time. All right, now that is looking seasoned. Do the old switcheroo here. Swap out this guy for this guy. Let me explain what's going on with this rub here. So, try to get close so you can see all the individual pieces. So we've got kosher salt, kind of the big, white sandy stuff. The twiggy stuff is thyme and rosemary, dried thyme and dried rosemary. We've got some pepper in there, both black pepper and white pepper. White pepper is very fine, as you can see here. So, that's going to stick to the meat really well. Actually, I'm gonna add a little bit more white pepper, just because I've got so much and it tastes so good. So, that's what white pepper looks like, in case you've never seen it. We got some onion powder, we got a little bit of mustard powder, we got a little bit of garlic powder in there. So, lots of fine particulates, as well as paprika. More or less the same as these things here. All right, and this is probably more spice than I actually need, which is fine. I've been in the mood for making briskets and roasts lately, so I'll probably save this for another one, or maybe I'll try putting this on a leg of lamb. I bet you that'll still be pretty good. Because this spice is pretty similar to what I use on my legs of lamb, except I turned it into more of a paste with the olive oil. Oh yeah, that's right, I've already made that video, so you guys know. You guys know how I do the whole leg of lamb, and it is delicious. Get some nice thick seasoning on there, because that is the foundation for our bark. The way you get good bark is good seasoning and good smoke, and of course good technique. But you only get the good technique with experience. This is I don't know how many smokes I've done. This is like, gosh, probably my 14th. I've been doing it a lot. Lots of off-camera smoking, trying to get good at it. It's the point where I feel like I can make, some tutorials that are video-worthy, right? I guess that's how everybody makes everything, right? You don't usually do a programming tutorial when you just learn the language. Typically don't make a tutorial doing anything when you just learned how to do it. Alright, I think that is pretty good. We'll just do one more run here at the top. A little bit here at the tip, actually. Need some. Try to mop up all that spice with the meat, a big old meat sponge, and there we go. 2 seasoned chuck roast. Alright, so I'm also going to be doing the coals a little bit different, because I'm going to create a bed of matchlight charcoal. That much, just to cover the bottom. So this stuff lights very easily, doesn't require like paper or anything at the bottom to light it up. And then I'm gonna put this lump charcoal on the top. Here we go. So this stuff here, put that on top. And these big chunks, they burn a little bit slower. Which is exactly what I want for when I'm smoking. Oop, dropping some. Charcoal chimney. Alright, that should work. Alright, and then this should light up pretty easily, especially with the torch lighter. Alright, she's up in smoke. So wait for this to reach the top. Get these coals a little bit white, and then we'll be ready to start smoking. So my coals at the top start to turn white. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in. Man, this is burning hot. Gotta be careful with this. Ooh-wee, that Instalight just burns so angry. And got some of this other dust I'm just gonna throw in. Hopefully this bag doesn't catch on fire. Here, let's put the GoPro here. Maybe the GoPro will catch on fire. Alright, so we are coming right up at 250 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the water basin in. Throw the meats on, and I've got my spray bottle full of apple cider vinegar. Still going to be using that except for the finisher, which of course is going to be the Wagyu tallow. So yeah, only thing that's really changing is a different kind of rub and adding tallow. So let's go. Put our water basin in place. Perfect. Make sure it's straight. All right. And then place the one with my rub further to the end. Right there should be good. And this one, whoop, put him up front. And give him a good shot of the spray. I don't want this touching. So yeah, the apple cider is slightly acidic. It'll help break down the meat and tenderize it as it's cooking. Also helps keep it juicier. We'll let that come back up and we'll grab some wood for the smoker as well. So right now I just got coals in there. You strategically. One over there. There we go. Let's get them out to start. We'll let that run. Check on in about half an hour. Alright, so we're a little bit over an hour into our smoke. We've been keeping pretty steady right around 250 degrees. You can see where our meats are at. I forgot to put this in when I first closed it up, so I put these guys in off camera just after I closed the lid. Realized it right after I stopped recording. Anyway, we're at 116 on the far roast and 120 on the close one. I'm just gonna hit them with some more the apple cider vinegar real quick, close them back up, and throw a couple more chunks of wood on. Too much heat there. Alright, that ought to be enough to hold her over for another half hour or so. Okay, these briskets are now almost done, but we just have to wrap them, and I'll leave them out on the smoker. It's cooled down to about 200 degrees, so I'm just gonna let it burn out, and I'll leave them wrapped on that smoker for about an hour as it burns out. That's how I like to finish them. And I'll be putting the beef tallow on here. So I'm probably gonna do 3, possibly 4 heaping tablespoons on each one. Might give this one a little bit more because he's bigger. Wrap them up, and then that Wagyu tallow is just gonna permeate into these roasts and hopefully really improve their juiciness and their taste. So I think I'll start by getting my foot. I'll wrap these separately since they're two different parts. spoon. Alright, so we'll do 1, 2. I think that's going to be, well, I'll give him like a little half dollop there. That's definitely going to be enough. Probably more than enough, but hey, whatever. And you know what? I'll actually spread it on kind of evenly. I mean, this doesn't really matter too much because it's just going to melt, but yeah, whatever. Maybe it'll give us a more even melt. I mean, it's already melting. That's the thing about Wagyu fat, is it's like so much more liquidy than I guess regular beef tallow. I don't know. I'm not really experienced with any kind of beef tallow, to be honest with you. This is just like a new trend that kind of everybody's doing. Oh, let me wrap this guy up real quick. Let's see what's the best way to do this. Trying to get almost like some boat action going on in here, because I really want that fat to just kind of pool around it. I think that's pretty good. Almost wrapped my knife in there and put it on the smoker. That would have been hilarious. Yeah, this knife thing is not really necessary. Just create an extra dish for myself. Oh well, that's how you learn. Alright, wrap this guy up. Bam. Bam. Get the boat going. Oh yeah. That's the kind of boat we like. It's gonna sail us all the way to Flavortown. So I'm gonna throw these back on the smoker. I'll be with you guys in about an hour. Alright, it is 10 o'clock at night and I started smoking these at 2:30. So 7.5 hours. That is how long we've been waiting for this. And now we're gonna open these like it's Christmas morning. And oh, look at that. Is that not just the juiciest, most beautiful brisket that you've ever laid your eyes on? And we've got all this Wagyu fat just chilling in the bottom here. Remember, this was on top, so this permeated through, soaked through all down the sides, and then went into it right here. And we've got the same thing going on here. This is the one, remember, that was my special blend of seasonings. And same thing. This one feels like it might be even more tender than this one here. So, why don't we go ahead and start with cutting this one up. We'll just move this guy off to the side for now. This is going to be delicious. So take a look at that smoke ring that we got going on there. You can't fake that. You can't get that in the oven. Only from smoking it for like 6.5 hours. Alright, let's try some pieces. Take a look at how juicy she is. It's looking pretty good. And it tastes even better. My goodness. Look at just how tender that meat is. Definitely passed the bend test. Doesn't quite pull apart. So, you know, could be a little bit more tender. But then again, remember, this is a chuck roast. It technically isn't even a brisket. Get some pull apart there. Yeah, see where we have marbling, our pieces pull apart. So good. Want to try this?
No.
Food chippies. I'll pass you a little piece. Is it good?
Oh, that was really good.
Yeah. Only get that from smoking her for 6.5 hours.
Damn.
So we'll put this one up. And we'll try this one. So, same idea for this brisket. Just my own special blend of herbs and spices. So we cut those beautiful burn ends first. I gotta say, this one is kind of a bit easier. Makes me think maybe this is more tender. Could it be that my blend of herbs and spices made it more tender? I don't know. Maybe this one just had a better wrap. Maybe it's because it was on the far side of the smoker. You know, that's one of the things that I love about smoking meats is there's just so many variables involved in it. I mean, sure, it's more primitive. You know, you've got a fire that's burning that you have to manually put pieces of wood in, keep it at a very specific temperature. But there's some beauty in that. There's beauty in the primitive. Alright, and I'm gonna try another one of those burn ends. Sop up that delicious Wagyu fat. Oh, look at that. It is glistening. This is what I call a wet-ass brisket. I think that one's even better. I think my blend of spices takes the cake. Want to try this?
Yeah.
Same idea, but it's just my blend of spices. Basically everything you see here except for this and this. Whoop. You like it?
That one tastes better.
Yeah, you like this one better, huh?
100%, yeah.
Well, there you go. Now the recipe's open source. Try it out for yourself. Peace.